Quick disclaimer, any opinion said in this video may offend some people. And if you are one of those people, you shouldn't be here. Make sure to have an open mind and have fun with the podcast.
If I'm in a hole, I might go do me a ram raid.
Hello and welcome back to the Desensitized podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tidal Johnson, and I am joined by good old mate.
Hi.
What's your name?
No, you tried that one already.
This happens every fucking time. Why can't you just come in and be like, Jade Waipara or something?
I don't feel like it.
Does it matter what you feel like? You're a man. Men do what they're supposed to do. Hey?
I feel like you should shut up. How about that?
Doesn't matter. It's about what's right, not feelings.
That sounded so sad.
Alright, sweet. So, ready to hop into the first topic?
Sure.
Alright, consumerism. What do you think? What is your opinion? Everything to do with money, buying things, and its linkage to happiness and fulfillment. What are your thoughts?
How do I feel about it? I feel like you don't need money, but at the same time, money is a damn good thing to have.
You don't need money. Elaborate?
No. So, for someone to be happy, it all depends on the person, correct?
Yeah.
Well, let's say someone enjoyed things like hiking and going outside and doing all of this blah, you know?
Yeah.
That person wouldn't need money to be happy. But then you've got people who find happiness in physical objects, like cars and nice clothes and...
That's consumerism.
You know, things that cost money. Yeah, exactly. But you said it's linked to happiness, and I don't reckon you need money.
No, but consumerism links your happiness to money.
No, I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. So, you're saying consumerism is a bad thing?
I'm saying consumerism, yes, has changed the way that people look at things and how they put their self-worth into physical objects and the things that they own.
Yep, I completely agree with you. So, it's not as much of an interesting episode, but it's a topic that should be covered because it is a huge thing in today's society, talking about what you can own, you know, your status and stuff in the world. Because there is...
That's status. That's the fucking words I was looking for.
Status. Why were you looking for that word?
Yeah, status. Because your economical status is what most people base their happiness off.
Yeah.
How the world sees them, instead of how they see themselves.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense, because obviously how the world sees you directly intertwines with your interactions with other people, and since we are social creatures, those things matter to everyone. To different people to a lesser degree, depending on what type of person you are, but there is always a baseline. Everyone needs interaction with other people, regardless of who they are. It's just it's like a spectrum in my mind. Let's say someone who's really likes alone time, if they were alone all the time, they would get upset and depressed about that, because they still need to have that little bit. Would you agree with me in that?
Yep, no, I get that.
Yeah, exactly. So we are social creatures. So status, it makes sense that we put a lot of value into status, because status basically directly intertwines with our social being. And the easiest way to have status in today's society is through consumerism, meaning like the fast car or, you know, the expensive clothing, the fancy watch and whatever.
Yeah, see, I'm just not much of a person who cares about what other people think. So this is something that I don't know much about.
Yeah, well, I mean, when someone says they don't care what other people think, it's the same thing. It's a spectrum. I mean, there are probably people out there who truly don't care what other people think, and those people are called rapists and murderers, right?
Well,
Extreme
no.
psychotic murderers and rapists, because they don't care. right? They don't care what other people think. They don't care if someone's going through trauma. They need to.
They
They
care
need to
about the things
stab.
that people. It's self-care. Like, I don't care what you think of me. I do things because I want to do them.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
things because I think they're morally right. I don't care what you think about it. That's why a lot of people don't like hearing what I have to say because it hurts their feelings, and I don't care about it hurting their feelings.
Yeah, that makes
Because that's not my problem. I told you what you needed to hear. I'll tell you that, and again, that's why people will ask me for advice on things, because I won't sugarcoat shit. I'll tell you exactly what I'm saying and exactly how I would deal with it. It's
Yeah.
not my problem if you don't take to it.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. But I would say that every like person who isn't a psycho or whatever will care what other people think because of our social creature things, not to the same extent, but a little bit. And you can actually change how much you do care, but the way you change how much you do care is a painful process. Like, for instance, let's take the fear of rejection, right?
Right.
It's said that after being rejected 50 times for whatever, like job interviews, whatever, job interviews, approaching girls, guys, whatever, after your first 50 rejections, that fear goes away, apparently. And obviously the 50 rejections are scary, I don't know, painful. But it's all linked to the status thing and not caring about what others think. Because that's the other interesting thing for me, is that you actually gain status by not caring as much about status.
Until I relate to that.
Hey?
Again, I have no idea. This isn't something... Like, I'm not saying, oh, I don't care to try and seem like a different... But, like, I don't. That's the whole reason I wanted to do these podcasts.
Well, I mean, I don't know. In my experience, I have had a lot of time caring about what other people think, a lot. You know, especially when it's come to girls and stuff, because that was just a natural thing for a lot of guys, I think, when they're younger especially, is that they always care what girls think, because they're like, oh, I need girls to think that I'm cool or whatever, so that, you know, you can have a chance with girls. But
I mean, you saw me back in school. I was just the guy that walked around with the guitar and did his own thing.
yeah, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I started
no,
doing...
I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I started, you know, over time I stopped caring about what people thought of me as much, but it always sits there somewhat in the back of the head. But anyways, back to consumerism. Do you think it's a negative thing? I think it's kind of a negative thing that everyone shows their status through monetary value and objects versus status through proficiency. But you can also argue that proficiency is linked to your money, like your money-making potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're proficient at your work, you can make more money, right? So that just makes sense.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. The only bad thing that I can see, like, straight away is people who are born into wealth, you know? And then them automatically having more status than other people, and that sort of being born into wealth makes people who weren't born into wealth feel less valuable because of their situation.
Especially, like, if you went to a public school and you were born into wealth.
Like,
Because then everyone knows, oh, that guy's rich as.
yeah. And, like, even for a lot of people who, depending on whatever craft you want to do to make your money, you know, you could become, like, the best mechanic in your workshop or whatever, and then you still don't have as much money as this dude who sits around doing nothing all day. But the reason why he's rich is because his dad did some cool shit, you know? Or his dad's dad did some cool shit.
His old man is fucking Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, and then that would make you look less appealing to other people, that, like, has your status is lower than this person who did nothing even though you did all this work. So I guess in that way, basing it on consumerism would be bad, because yes, consumerism is linked to your proficiency in the society, but it can also be that, like, link can be broken by people who are born into wealth or people who got lucky with the lottery, whereas if you base your status on, like, your skill set, people who are born into wealth, they're going to have low status because they're not good at anything, because they never had to get good at anything, because they're already got all the money.
Well, that all depends. No. Now that comes into parenting. That all depends on the parent. There are a lot of rich people who treat their kids as if they were poor.
Well, yeah,
Like,
yeah, of
take
course.
Shaq and Steve Harvey, for example. They've got money. They've got money to burn. But they're the kinds of people who are, with their kids, they go, it's my money.
Yeah,
I
that
earned
makes
that
sense.
money. You have to go find your own fortune.
Well,
This is
yeah, that
mine,
makes
and you
sense.
can't-
But that's the thing based in parenting, though.
Yeah, but that also intertwines with rich people. Like, there are some rich ones, but you can't gauge them all just like that.
Yeah, but then you could say that those people aren't born into wealth. Because their parents are putting this simulated
So you're going,
poor...
yeah, but they were born into a wealthy family.
Yeah, but it's
you're
still
going
simulated
born into wealth-
poverty.
Then you've got to define your motion. That's like debates. You've got to define what the motion is and what you're talking about. You're talking about people who were born and spoiled into money.
Yeah, but if you're not spoiled, then I'd say you're not born into wealth.
Well, exactly, but that's not true, because that statement itself means you were born into a family with money, or you were born and you had money. That doesn't automatically make you selfish and one of those fucking people you see online who doesn't know any better.
It doesn't automatically make you selfish. You can still be an unskilled person with a lot of money, and it still could affect the person who is skilled who doesn't earn as much money.
But you can still be a skilled person with money.
Oh yeah, of course you can be a skilled person with money. That's perfectly fine. But I'm just saying unskilled people with money will make skilled people who don't have as much money as those people feel like they're less valuable. And that's why consumerism can be a detriment to, like, the happiness of a society.
Alright, no, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. Do you agree or do you
Because
disagree?
this guy's rich and this guy's not, but this guy's working for his money that he feels worse just because this guy's rich.
Yeah. And that's obviously has to do with caring about what other people think, but like as I said, we are social creatures, and obviously it is a spectrum, but in saying social creatures, that means that the general idea is that we're most of us, or if you look at a population, you might as well, if you're saying something about wider society, you might as well assume that people are going to be on the weaker side, or like the worse side, because, you know, the general consensus is that people do care about what other people think. So, then you would say, when you're talking about consumerism, saying if it's good or bad for society, you could argue it's bad for society because it makes the skilled people feel worse at what they're doing, and that's obviously not good because people who are unhappy are less productive.
No, I get where you're coming from.
So, in my opinion, I'd say consumerism overall for society is a negative thing. But, personally, I think consumerism can be a positive thing because it's something to work towards.
Yeah.
But even then, if you're working towards buying an expensive car, you kind of have your priorities in the wrong sort of area, even if you're wanting to make money, you know, or take money, as people would say, because you're not the Federal Reserve. Can't really make money. Anything to add or argue?
Not really, because by the way you worded your sentences, it sounded like you were taking a dig at people who had money, or were born into it. And then, in that aspect, there are people who are in that not so skilled, but who are in the skilled region but not making as much money, who will get angry at the people who were born into it.
Yeah.
Which is completely unfair, because that person didn't ask to be born into money, it just happened.
Yeah. But I mean, they would have asked. Probably. Who's out here
Parents
asking
might
to
know.
be poor? To be broke?
No, I mean when they were born, dickhead.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're telling me you asked your parents to birth you? Is that what you're saying to me?
No. But I'm saying if you could ask, would you ask to be broke or would you ask to be rich?
But that wasn't even close to what I was saying.
Yeah, I know,
But
I
if you
know.
said, well, who the fuck is asking to be fucking... Who's asking, yeah, I want that hood life.
But like then they would just assume that the person who was born into riches, if they got the choice, they would have said it anyways, because they would have said yes. But they got it and they did it, so...
Well.
You can't really use the argument, oh, I didn't choose to be rich, because damn well you know that they would have fucking chosen to be rich.
But everyone would have.
Exactly, right? So it invalidates the point. Because everyone chose, because they just got it. And then that's unfair. That's seen as unfair, because everyone chooses to be rich, but not everyone gets to be rich. And the person didn't do anything to make himself get born, so, therefore, It
You
invalidates
can blame
that
my
argument.
fucking parents. Yeah, you want to make an argument against me because I'm rich? You can go blame my fucking parents.
I guess
I
it
didn't
just gets
have
them
me,
angry
they
at the
did.
universe sometimes.
Oh yeah, no. People break down at the universe.
You fucking dick.
Why have you done this to me? Have you seen those God of War memes going around?
Nah, I haven't. I didn't play God of War, so I don't know.
Nah, but the memes have been going off recently. And there's one scene, fucking, and they've been going it with like, where he'll turn around and go, Zeus, is this how you face me?
Nice.
And people are putting me when life makes me stub my toe.
This is how you face me. Nice.
Zeus, is this how you face me?
Nice. I like it. Sounds pretty sick. Sounds like a Sigma mind. This is how you face me, universe? Dare challenge me!
You dare challenge me?
Man, I had something that I
you,
wanted to say
universe.
that I thought would be a banger, but it fucking slipped my mind. It was gonna be interesting, but it slipped my mind. It was too interesting.
It was too interesting.
Yeah. Made my brain go
Oh, well.
funny.
Everyone can sit here and ponder on that, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting thought about money that makes your brain go funny, and you weren't here for a while.
Bit of a rapper, are you?
I guess I dabble sometimes. Okay, so we agree that consumerism is a net negative for society.
Yes.
That slipped my mind completely.
It's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone. I think it's gone. It'll have to come up in another podcast or something. I tried to think about it, but I can't sit here all day just not talking. So, do you want to move to statement stalemate now?
Well, yeah, I guess so. We don't really have any much else to cover at the moment.
Yeah, and statement stalemate is still on topic, so, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, first statement. Money can buy happiness. Is that true?
Yes, but that's dependent on the person.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because, like, if the person likes cars and shit, wow, and well, video games, then yes, it can. But if you're an extrovert and you like talking to people and going and hanging out with people, it can, but it doesn't have to. Like, if you're going out to get food, then yes. But if you're going out on a hike, then no.
I think money can buy happiness, and the reason for that, it doesn't mean that you're going to get happiness from anything, but money can buy happiness for a lot of people because money is freedom, and freedom can bring a lot of happiness.
Yeah, when you have money, you're not tied down by anything. Like, you can do what you want.
Exactly. You
You don't
can
have to
go where
worry
you
about
want,
being able to do what you want.
and go where you want, give what you want. You know, I feel like if you're unhappy, you could just give a bunch of fucking money to strangers and then become happy. I feel like that's what happens, because recently, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I went through a breakup. Ooh, right? And I was very upset. But what I did is I actually started buying homeless people pies and shit. And when I do that, it would just make me happy. So I don't know. I feel like generosity can just make you happy. Do you know what I mean? So let's say you're really sad at the state of the world, and you have money. You can just go buy a shitload of food, give it to homeless people, go save some fucking dying dogs, and then pay the vets double the price. Then you're doing two with one stone. You're supporting the vets, and then you're also saving a dog's life. You could also take the money and you could fly people and sort out refugees coming to first world countries from Syria. You can do all this cool shit with money. So if you're sitting there having money and feeling like shit, I just don't understand. The only way only way I can really think of you feeling like shit if you have money is if you're like a drug addict or something. That would sort of make sense. Because a lot of people who get rich become drug addicts because of all the hedonism and shit in today's society.
If you were like that, again, going back to that rich kid, if you were hating for having it, or hated for having it, I'd understand why you'd be unhappy having it.
That's the other thing. I think if you start broke and then end up rich, you can never be unhappy with money. But if you start rich, you can be unhappy with money.
Yeah.
Because if you started broke, every time you start feeling unhappy, you're like, man, I remember the time when I was broke and unhappy, and that was shit. You know what I mean? If
That
makes
was
sense.
man ass.
That was man ass, yeah. Exactly. That's sort of how I view it.
You know, I get that.
Man, we just completely agree on this topic. It's less interesting
Pretty
than
much.
normally. That's alright though.
Well, I
Guess
mean,
you guys
that's
might end
something
up with a
different.
short podcast then.
A little bit of a quick dopamine hit.
Yeah. Quick, cheap dopamine hit.
Cheap, they see this is free.
Ah, exactly. For you guys, not for us. We gotta spend hours on this.
Yeah, this takes time, and time equals money, so...
Yeah, it costs us. Time is the only currency you can't retake. You have to just spend it, and then it's gone forever.
Pretty much.
Alright, ready for the next statement.
Go on then.
Status indicates intelligence, yes or no?
No, because some people have just gotten unfortunate hands, you know? Like, I've met so many fucking smart people that could do a lot of shit, but just got dealt a bad hand and never got the chance to use it.
A lot of the time, you would see smart people, right? As I would see people who I'd think are smart. But a lot of the time, the smart people, they could have been more, but they get hooked on something or they start falling for hedonism, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that, yeah.
In their younger years, they do things like they go and drink and party and all that rather than, you know, trying to figure out who they are as a person properly, not just in that one aspect.
Decision, yeah, but in all, not a stupid person.
Yeah.
Like, capability mixed with stupid decisions is, you know, that's one hell of a force. That's tragic.
But then you could also say those decisions are stupid, so you must be
Well, yeah, but
that
it
intelligent
all
to make these
depends on-
decisions.
Yeah, but that all depends on what you're defining the motion as.
And I mean, it also depends on how old you are. Because if you're like 18, 19, 20, you don't have heaps of money, that doesn't automatically mean you're dumb, because you've only just started.
So it'll all depend on circumstance as well, if you're
Yeah.
going with that line of stupidity.
Yeah. But if you're like, let's say you're 50 years old, and you're working at the same minimum wage job that a 16-year-old is. And fun fact, actually, I actually worked with 50-year-olds who were, because I worked at a BP, I worked with 50-year-olds and stuff, and no offense to them, you know, they were nice people and stuff, but I could tell, like, why they were working there still. Because I think it's a mixture of, because a lot of intelligent people, the other thing that would hold them back is fear. They're always scared of going somewhere in the unknown, you know what I mean? Or doing something that isn't seen as safe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously the risk goes up with the reward, so the riskier things are where people get the most money. But these intelligent people, or a lot of intelligent people, look at the risk and they're like, oh, but what if I fail, or what if blah blah blah, or what if blah blah blah. Think of that when they're like, and when they're young and in their 20s, like early 20s and shit, they think, oh, I can't fail because I don't have much money. So they sort of continue in this pattern, and then maybe get a little bit more money later on, but still be having to work all the time. And then by the time they get to their like older age where they've got more money, they can't really take the risks anymore because they're like, oh, I've got a wife and kids or whatever, you know. But I think the best time to take all the risks is when you're 20, because you don't have the wife or kids and you're broke anyways. So if you take a risk, you're just gonna be broke anyways.
Yeah, you don't really have much to lose there, cause
pretty much, eh? So you could just risk it and just start, I don't know, start doing podcasts. What am I losing? What are we losing? Nothing. Best case scenario. Yeah. That just makes a lot of sense. But intelligent people will be like, oh, but if I do that, I'll be losing a lot of time. And that's when they start thinking of hedonism, right? Because then they'll be like, oh, but I want to spend that time doing something else. Like, this is a Saturday night right now, right? Right now, as I'm recording this, as we're recording this, so this is a Saturday night. What are a lot of people our age doing? Going out and drinking, right? Because it's a Saturday night. Saturday nights are for the boys, bro. You know, all that shit. But no, I'm here sitting in a dark room talking into a microphone with you. I don't know where you are. Somewhere outside.
No, I'm in a room across the country, doing my thing.
Which, I don't know. intelligent people might be like, oh, I'd rather go to the party, or some intelligent people, intelligent people are like, oh yeah, but then, then if I sit inside on the Saturdays, or, I spend more time sitting inside talking to a microphone, then later on I'm going to be like, oh man, I wish I went out and partied more when I was younger, So that's probably what stops them, and then that can also stop their status from increasing, because from going to the parties and stuff, you get status temporarily, but then when you get older, your status drops. Whereas if you don't go to the parties and stuff, your status is low, and if your things that you're working on actually become successful, your status skyrockets, right?
Yeah, it goes up, yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm just sort of rambling off. I don't know if what I'm saying or my thoughts actually make sense when they're coming out to words, but...
Yeah, no, it makes sense, yeah. Building a long-lasting status instead of having a status and then losing it because the things that you're doing don't correlate when you get older.
But the cost of trying to build long-term status is that while you're building it, and you building it can even fail. So, you can try and build status on...
it's not a guaranteed thing. You're not going to, it's not positive that you'll make it, but you have a way higher chance.
Exactly. It's not positive that this podcast is going to blow up, but we still have to give it a hearty try before we try something else. A podcast a week for a year is a good try.
Plus, this is good fun.
Yeah,
it's
definitely is. And we're talking, speaking our minds and shit too, so all that stuff. Yeah, so is there anything you can argue against that, or nah?
Not really, no.
Alright,
no, that's pretty sound.
Alright, cool. Next one? Wait, hold on. Do you think status, people with low status are more likely to be dumb, though? Less intelligent? Because what do you think it takes to increase your status? Over time, in the long term.
Probably just working and building a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Take this one for example. My father used to work in tires, right?
Yeah.
And that obviously you don't have to be intelligent for. You do have to know a couple things, but not much.
Yeah.
I know how to change one back. I could change a fucking truck tire with my eyes closed. But he had a reputation for how good he was in his sector. There were people from other companies that knew his name and tried to buy him out of it, and he ran the whole North Island.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's not a smart man, but he had status. Every job he ever got was because of word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because people said, yeah, he's the man. So, your status doesn't have to be drawn from intelligence, it's more about how hard of a person you are.
How hard of a person you are?
Yeah, well, he was a very hard worker, he was a strong man, he was big, he knew what he was doing, and he just didn't give up. That man got on the piss every fucking chance he could, but he was still the kind of person that would get up 5 o'clock the next morning and go to work and then come back and then be on call, so he might get an hour of sleep before he gets called out to do something.
Yeah, but he'd still go.
Yeah, he'd still go.
But,
so he was...
So he was the man despite the piss.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so, everyone out there, if you're not getting on the piss all the time, and you work hard, you have an advantage.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because he didn't let things stop him, but that did hit him in his older years because of the kind of work he was doing. It took a toll on his body.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. I can sort of see that now.
Yeah, well, you've met him.
Yeah, I have met him. Alright, sweet. Yeah, okay. That was an interesting little tidbit to add. That it's not necessarily your intelligence, but your rigidity as a person that actually will increase your status.
Pretty much. It's about you and your drive.
The intelligence only really comes in when it comes down to trying to make the status increase easier on yourself. Because I guess the intelligence... Yeah, I guess the intelligence thing would come in if he was getting a good thing going. It'd be okay, well, I don't need to get on the piss, so I'm gonna not do that, and then get more sleep.
Been knowing how to play your cards,
yeah, and then later on, when he gets older, he's gonna be in much better shape and able to continue growing his status until he needs to retire, or whatever, or even retire early without being fucked up.
That's where the stupid decision came from, because he made a bad decision, and then, he could have been way well off.
Yeah.
But, stupid decision he made, just sort of, planted him in the wrong place early on, but, still made a name.
Alright, ready for the next statement then.
Go on then.
Alright, money is power, yes or no?
In the classic definition of power, yes.
The classic definition? What's
Which
the
is-
non-classical definition?
Power can be defined as your strength and integrity as a person, or power can be defined as the sway that you have over most things. Being able to control the outcome of a situation, being able to shift the movement of certain scenarios that are happening, that's power. Having the power to change.
Yeah.
And in that case, yes, money equals power.
Okay, what's the non-classical definition?
Integrity, self-integrity, being strong as a person. It can definitely help, but no, in the classic definition of power, then yes, that is power. Power is having the ability to make things happen.
Well, I'm going to actually quote something from Andrew Tate, because then that will actually give us the ability to put Andrew Tate in the tags, and that will probably improve them. But yeah, Andrew Tate says that money isn't, like, it doesn't change people, but it amplifies them. So whoever you are before you have money will be who you are, but you'll be like that person more when you have money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're an asshole before you have money, you'll be a mega asshole when you have money.
You'll be a bigger asshole when you have money, because then you have the ability to make your assholeness go further.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing, whereas, like, if you're a really nice person, you'll get money and be an even nicer person, because now you can give more. But do you think money would corrupt people a lot? Because then you could think that maybe people, if someone's corrupted by money, right? You could think that maybe they were secretly like this the whole time, but just money gives them the ability to speak freely, if you know what I mean? Or act more free.
Money also tends to cause people to push others away. Like the friends that they had, once they got money, it's like they get that depends on what the fuck is the word, ego. They get a big ego because, again, money, status, it gives them a big ego. And if they're very driven by their ego, then that ends up causing self-destruction.
I don't know if there's, like, a difference between that and, like, the self-improvement thing, because when you talk about self-improvement, it tells you that you're going to lose a lot of friends based on your own decisions. But the reason why is because you identify things in your friends, and then you realize, obviously you don't go to your friends and be like, hey, stop doing what you're doing and shit, right?
The thing is that people push away those who aren't as well off as they are.
Yeah.
When they've gone from being poor to getting money through something like the lottery.
Yeah, through something like the lottery. Because you can say that some people, when they get money, they lose a lot of their friends that they had when they were broke. But you could also say that, like, they didn't push the friends away as soon as they became rich. They pushed them away while they were trying to get more status. Because maybe they were identifying things in their friends, like maybe the friends were going out and drinking all the time, or maybe the friends were taking drugs, or maybe the friends were playing video games all the time, or maybe the friends were smoking weed or whatever, and then they're like, okay, I can't let this rub off on me, you know?
Yeah, no, so he distanced himself.
Yeah. So, you could say that that's the sort of similar thing when people go, oh yeah, I was friends with someone and then got all rich and stuff. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the time when someone says that, you would automatically think that the person's like, wow, what a dick. But it's not necessarily the case.
Not always, but can be.
Yeah. Like, if someone got rich because of the lottery, or got more status because of the lottery, of course, that's an arsehole move. But if someone realized that a friend of theirs was doing a lot of horrible shit that they didn't want to be a part of, like, let's say your friend started stealing and shit, started doing ram raids, and then you distance yourself from them, does that make you an asshole? I don't know.
No, that makes you a sane person.
Yeah.
Like, if my mate started doing ram raids, well, if I'm in a hole, I might go do me a ram raid, but no.
Ignore that.
Ignore that, dude. Have to be very, very down and out to do a ram raid. I would also push that friend away.
Yeah, or if the friend was doing something that people would say is less harmful, it's completely fine. in terms of legality, but you find the thing to be limiting your potential as a human being. Like if your friend started smoking weed all the time, and they'd be like, hey man, you want to go and chill, we'll have pizza and smoke weed and play some games. You're like, nah man, I don't got time for that shit. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be something that, like, when it comes to that sort of shit, you don't have to push the person away. Just don't do the things that they want to do. Like, I've got mates who smoke dope.
Yeah.
And I hate the shit. And shit fucks with me, but that doesn't make them not my mates.
Because that's a lot of the thing in terms of self-improvement is, like, keeping people who are motivated or people who are disciplined around you, because it makes sure that you're going to be more disciplined.
Yeah, but you also got to take into account, you've got to keep the people around that you want to keep around. You can't keep around people you don't like solely because of their... Or not that you don't like, people that you don't click with solely because of how they are.
Well, I guess,
but not going to benefit yourself at all. You're going to not want to go out with anybody.
But you click with someone based on how someone is.
Yes, you do. But, again... Sometimes you find factors in people who have those factors, and you like those factors, but they have one outlying thing like dope that you don't like.
Yeah.
It all depends on how they play it around you. Like, if my mate started trying to force me or get me to do it, then yeah, I wouldn't hang out with him as much. But if he's doing it by himself, on his own, and he doesn't care if I do it or not, and he doesn't try and bring it up to me, and it's not his main talking point, well... That's a whole different story.
Yeah, because I can see that, because I have friends who do things that I don't do myself, because you know, as you know, I don't know if anyone on the podcast knows, I'm very straight edge when it comes to a lot of hedonistic behavior.
Yeah, and I drink.
Yeah, pretty much. But
but
yeah,
here the fuck
edge.
you
But
are.
we'll try and keep that straight edge talk for the drugs podcast, because that's pretty much where it's the most relevant.
Oh yes,
because I'm gonna have a lot of arguing to do with you and old mate if he comes on for that one. Yeah, okay. So money definitely is power.
Old mate.
So money is power.
Or old mate.
Money is power by the dictionary definition. Because money can change the circumstances of the world. If you have enough money, you can basically change anything in the world.
Pretty much. And that's power.
Yeah.
So yes, with that statement, money is power.
Yeah. Sweet.
Having a voice just isn't enough.
Man, this is a lovely, snappy little podcast today. This is great, because it means less editing for me. And we still got most of our points across. Are you ready for some Am I the Arseholes?
I'm always ready for Am I the Arsehole?
Awesome. I'm going to do the first one, you do the second one, and then I do the last one. How does that sound?
Alright.
Am I the asshole for not buying more lemonade for my pregnant wife? Yes or no? What did you say? Did you give an answer?
No. I just don't know how to think about that one. Because on one hand, no, of course not.
Not the asshole.
But on the other hand, it might be a bit of a dick move depending on, like, if this man has bought like gallons of lemonade already and then went, you know what, no.
I just love that, I just love that idea that he's bought like oil drums worth of lemonade and she's like, nah, but I need more.
Wow, no, then you're not an asshole, she's a fat fuck.
Yeah, like, because it says not buying more lemonade. That's the part that throws you off, right? If it was, am I the arsehole for not buying lemonade for my pregnant wife, would be like an absolute yes.
Yeah, well, it's like, what, bro, come on.
But when it's saying not buying more, it just means that,
if it's like the world's most expensive lemonade.
Yeah. Alright. You ready to hop on to this one then?
Yeah, go for it. I want to hear this.
My wife and I are from the UK, but fairly recently visited Disney with our 5-year-old. Whilst out there, my wife developed a taste for Minute Maid lemonade. Pink, not regular, although she says it's the same as lemonade, but somehow tastes different. On our way, back from our holiday, she stopped by a shop in the airport and she bought several, or quite a few, Pink Minute Maid lemonade. On to today, my sister is visiting and spotted the drink in the fridge. Asked to have it, and I recall my wife having a few and finding a website to buy more, since they don't sell it in the UK. So I said yes, but my wife got home and had a craving, but apparently the bottle I'd given my sister was the last one. I apologised. She asked if she'd replace it, plus a few, since she's pregnant and craving it, and I said no because it's high in sugar, type 1 diabetic, and also expensive. We're on baby number 2. She wants to take our child back to Disney next year and go to the other parks like we did this year. We're saving where we can. That includes little purchases like this. Whilst not actively swearing at me, I can tell she's very pouty, although I think she's just upset to be back in the UK. Am I the asshole? What do you think?
I think you're a fucking racist.
That was my
Fucking-
accent.
You and your hoity-toity fucking...
Every time I see a country, I'm just gonna read the "Am I the Arsehole" in some shitty
You've
accent.
been doing that anyway.
Eh?
You do that anyway.
No, I just did it in the
I
last
can't
one and
wait
this
to
one.
get Indian.
No,
You
that was
fucking
that,
racist.
the UK one.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get India.
We get like African American,
Oh man.
Jamaican, Wagwan,
Wagwan the 15th.
Wagwan man. You know,
Wagwan, man.
you know, my wife Wagwan. The other day, my wife wasn't putting out Wagwan. Okay, alright, back to the topic. She likes these Pink Minute Maid lemonades, and her sister visited and drank the last bottle, so she wanted it, and then he said no to getting another one because it's high in sugar, and someone is a type 1 diabetic, I'm guessing it's her, and too expensive. Do you think he's the arsehole for that?
I think it should be replaced, but I don't think more should be bought.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, she got that one, and it got drank, it should be replaced.
Yeah, for sure.
But, no, there shouldn't be more if she's a type 1 diabetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, so I don't think he's an asshole, but I do think that needs to be replaced regardless.
Yeah, I agree. You know what's funny? The subreddit is saying that he's an arsehole.
What? Oh, of course. Bring it on, Reddit. What do they say?
Again, wait, hold on, I just need to reread something. Oh, he said yes to his sister having the last drink.
Yes.
Because his wife found a website to buy more. Does that change anything for you?
No.
Okay, it doesn't change anything for me either. Shall we read some of the bad boys?
Yeah,
on
go
here?
through some of the comments. Let's see what these assholes are saying.
Yes, the arsehole. You say you let your sister have the drink because you recalled your wife finding a website to buy more. Then when your wife asks you to get more, you say no. That's an arsehole move.
Oh. Actually, I kind of do on that, yeah.
Yeah. No, that actually makes a bit of sense.
Yep, no, that's pretty
Especially
sound.
since he didn't say that he
argument.
was going to replace it. Yeah, that makes a lot
Yeah,
of
no,
sense.
yeah.
The next one says,
If you
I'm
replace
so...
it, you're not the asshole. Because you said you wouldn't, you're a fucking dick.
The next one, I'm so glad I don't want kids. These submissions from arsehole partners who want to do the least while someone is physically growing their child in them. Even better, when it is time to push the kid out in grueling pain, the partners want to argue with that their mums belong in the delivery room. What is wrong with these people? Yeah, I understand that. I couldn't imagine, like, having a child growing in someone that I love, and then being like, nah, you can't have your lemonade back. It's high in sugar.
Yeah,
and
no.
too expensive.
No, yeah, fuck. Well, I could do that if you were a type 1 diabetic.
That's true, and be like, but
I
it would
could
still be
stop
like,
the-
are you sure? It's like, you know, because you don't really make decisions for them still. Although, they are holding your
but
baby.
you're asking me.
Yeah.
Like, in this situation, the guy was asked, you're asking me. I'm going to say no if you're a type 1 diabetic. Because if it keeps going, you're going to be dead before that baby's born.
But, in saying that, she did have one in the fridge, and then it got drunk by someone else.
Yeah, no, exactly. Which is like, well, fair play. I'll replace that one, but I'm
Yeah.
not buying anymore.
Yeah. So he was the arsehole for not replacing that one. Because he said yes to
Pretty
the sister
much. And
drinking
then
it.
the asshole for using the reason for the sister drinking it is, oh no, but she found a website, we can get more. And then going, no, we're not getting any more.
Yeah. I've got another comment.
So to be honest, it's going to be given away anyway.
Yeah. I've got another comment from someone who's been pregnant.
Go on then.
I really liked being pregnant, and I had mild pregnancy symptoms, but it was super hard anyways. And it's not you going around with a belly that grows a bit once in a while, with a baby that pops out one day. It's hardcore work 24/7 building another human that has effectively taken over your body. Something you're constantly reminded of from day one. So if the woman carrying your child wants a pink lemonade, then you don't dare give the last bottle to your sister.
No, fair play.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
So I'd
no,
say he
that-
is
that
the
is
arsehole.
I guess so, in that aspect then yes. He is the asshole.
No, yeah, I couldn't imagine having a girlfriend or wife carrying my child and then going, nah, you can have it, my sister. If I was like, if my sister was there and I was like, nah, that's my wife, you know, she has it, you know, she really likes it and she's pregnant, so that's a treat. And then she's like, oh, but I'm so thirsty, can I just have it? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? I just told you. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I just told you the whole situation, but you can go get your ass a glass of water.
Yeah. Fuck it out. Or you go to the fucking shop.
Yo.
I'll take you to the
put your
shop.
shoes on, go to the shop and get your own damn drink.
Yeah, I'll take you to the shop.
Yeah.
You are here to hang out after all, but still, that was a cunty move.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't have given it away in the first place, no.
Yeah, I completely agree with old mates on this one.
Yeah, no, I thought the comments were going to be a bit fucky, but they've opened up my eyes.
Nice work, Reddit.
Yeah. Guy's an asshole.
Yeah, nice work, Reddit. Didn't think that would happen, but yeah, it
Yeah,
worked
well,
out.
good
Nice.
on you.
Alright, next one. I just sent it to you, so you can read it.
I've already got it up.
Cool.
Am I the asshole for not standing up for my wife when my uncle made a gold digger joke? Because what she said mortified me.
Because what she said
Oh.
mortified me. I was
Well,
kind of...
that all depends on what she said, but it's a gold digger joke.
Yeah,
It's a joke.
yeah, exactly.
So I guess
Yeah,
we just have to
no,
see how it plays out.
I don't think he's the arsehole because it's a joke.
Yeah, I reckon it all depends on how the joke was supposed to come off. 'Cause
Yeah,
people tell
same.
jokes, but they direct them at certain people in
And then
hopes
they
to,
mean it.
you know,
yeah.
hurt them with it.
Yeah. If that's the case, if it's like a personal attack, like, and he's joking, and then he does the next one, then the next one, then the next one, and every time he sees you, I don't know, buy something for it, he cracks another one. It's like if someone's being
no,
nice
he's
to their
just trying to
girlfriend
take
and then they're
things
making a
in.
simp joke every single time someone hugs their girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, you know, it's sort of going that way, like signifying that they have something to say and they actually have some sort of thought about the person. Alright, anyways, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's give this a try. Alright. I haven't seen my mum in a year. Last year there was a big fight between me, my wife, and my mother about how Christmas would work and who would host. My mum decided she didn't want to see me anymore. It sucks, but I'm not going to beg her. My wife and I have a disagreement regarding our 1.5-year-old son. She thinks my mum is a horrid person for not sending him gifts, cards, asking for pictures. Oh, that's it, asking for pictures. I think if my mum actually wants no contact, she was doing the respectful thing. Also, we both agree she wouldn't be allowed to see him. But I don't really get what my wife wants. I have asked her to not badmouth my mum to any of my family. I want to preserve the few relationships I have left. And it is honestly embarrassing. My grandparents gave my mum zero help with me because not their kid, not their problem. And that was with them being fairly close to my mum, so I can't imagine how they would react to hearing my wife's views on this. Recently we ran into my uncles at my grandparents' house. It was awkward, as I know that dude hates me and is 100% on my mum's team, but we were all guilted into staying for lunch. My grandmother was trying to get my uncle to come for Thanksgiving, and he got pissy and said no, she knows he spends all holidays with my mum. My wife then asked how my mum was, and I felt myself cringe. My uncle said she is great. My wife said we wouldn't know as she never sends any gifts for our son, so maybe she is dead. Wow. I gave her a look, begging her to stop. My uncle's wife burst out laughing. My uncle asked if she was kidding or if she really thought my mum was going to buy gifts for a child she did not know. My wife went on a rant about how she would do anything to have any amount of contact with our future grandchildren. My uncle laughed and said, wow, such a gold digger. You put his ex who hates me name here to shame. My wife immediately looked like she was going to cry, but I just couldn't bring myself to say anything. I was mortified and I begged her not to bring it up. I'll bring up the gift thing. She asked if I was going to defend her. I said no, and she ran out of the room. We left and she is furious with me. She says I betrayed her and my mum is going to laugh when she heard. I told her that she humiliated me and I begged her to stop with the gift.
Wow. That was a bit of a... Wow.
That was.
Yeah, that wasn't just a joke.
No, but it's also not his place to defend her when he told her not to do it.
Not to do what?
Bring up
go
the
on
gifts
rant.
and shit.
Yeah, that's true. So I can't really say he's an asshole.
No.
He did say, hey, can we not bring up the gifts and stuff, and she did that anyways.
Oh, but unfortunately, women are the best at studying fossils because they like to dig up the past.
Yeah. So true.
So, unfortunately, no, he's not the asshole, but she's a bit of a fucking prick.
She is?
Bury it and let it stay there, you bastard.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what her obsession is with the mother.
Yeah, no, fuck knows.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's pretty crazy that the mother is just like, I don't want to have any contact. How does that happen?
Well, yeah, but there has to be a reason that we don't know about.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm just thinking, how the fuck does that happen? What would you have to do for the mother to just be like, no, I don't want to talk to you at all?
That all depends on both parties. Like, I've had a situation like that we won't get into, but
yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, I know the situation.
Probably would have something to do with the wife, probably, right?
Either the wife or they've come to a disagreement about something or something's fucked up along the line, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the wife and the kid.
Would probably be the wife. Oh, man, I hate saying that, but it probably seems like that the wife could be, unless it was just like overbearing parents who were like, who just believe that no one is good enough for their child for some reason, just an egotistical thing, and then just treated her like shit the whole time until the wife just eventually was just like, fuck these people all the time. But otherwise, I feel like the wife could have been the bad person in the situation. And
or
maybe
it might just
you don't see it because you're in love with her. I don't know how long you've been married, but you know.
Yeah, but it could just directly be the mother and the son and something that happened between them.
Yeah, that's true. But it says that there was a big fight between me, my wife, and my mother. So it said that it was the fight between all three of them. But I mean, maybe it could have been that a fight was between the mother and him, and then his wife came and backed him up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But
So
no, it all
crazy.
depends.
Yeah, I don't understand how a mother could want to just not want to see their child at all. That's crazy.
Wow. I get that.
This is a tricky one, actually. The first one I found to be a bit more tricky to, like, say yes or no to being an arsehole, you know?
Oh, no, I don't think he's an asshole at all.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. And I feel
Like,
like it's
at
more
all.
neutral.
He told her not to do it. He wanted to keep mutual ground.
Yeah.
The situation at hand is if he was an asshole for not defending his wife.
Yeah, I mean, if the uncle just came out of the blue and just did that, then he should be defending his wife, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
of course.
But because she was like,
But-
oh, I want to do this, and then he was, like, begging her to stop.
Yeah,
and
then, wow.
She fucked around and found out.
She fucked around and found out.
It's not his place where he has to defend her. It would be nice, but it's not expected, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, in this situation, it would be easy to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'd defend it, but man, that's a tricky situation, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, well, I
But
can
it does
defend
also
my...
mean that the uncle hates him anyways, so I don't know.
See, that doesn't sway my decision on what he did. Like,
Yeah.
again,
He's
it's
not the
as simple
arsehole.
as,
He's not the arsehole.
I told you not to. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the arsehole. So end all be all, not the arsehole. Very tricky situation. I hope what happens with you is I hope your wife, she makes up with you, and then you guys are all lovey-dovey again. You're getting laid again. And I hope that your mum comes back, and whatever fucking fucked up argument you had, I don't know you, but I hope whatever fucked up shit happened, or whatever happened at Christmas, just, you find a way to resolve it, because and mother just going, no, I don't want to speak to you ever again, that just seems like a lot of shit must have happened, you know?
Yeah, no, that would have been a big situation.
Yeah. So I really hope that works out for you, man, especially because, like, I feel like so heartfelt for you because it's such a tricky situation. It's not too tricky for us to decide if you're an arsehole, which we don't think you are, but it's still a tricky situation you're in, and I really hope if this wife just goes, oh, you're an arsehole, you should look after me like a real man, and then leaves you for this, then she was shit. And then your uncle was probably right.
My dog.
But it was still really pretty fucked up that he brings up his ex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope things get better between you and your wife, because obviously she's going to be annoyed at you at the moment. You know, they say, woman can't live with him, can't live without him. Alright, ready for the next the next one?
That was so fucking lame.
What was lame?
Yep. Just trying to work that saying in there. That was so lame.
Hell no.
Just hurry up and read the next one more.
Arsehole. You're the arsehole in that situation. Dickhead.
No, I will gladly be the asshole.
Alright.
I won't put am I the asshole, I am the asshole.
Am I the arsehole for expecting my girlfriend to pay this rent?
Are you going to pay it too? Does she live with you?
Don't know yet. I gotta give you context afterwards.
Well, those are the factors, you know. You're not an asshole if you're also paying and she stays with you.
Alright.
But if she doesn't stay with you and you just want her to pay it all, well, dick.
Alright. My girlfriend and I have been dating for a year, and we want to move in together. We want a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment or townhouse near my work. I'm a second-year pathology resident, and my residency is 5 years long. She works from home and wants an office. She also makes 120 grand, and I only make 68 grand. So our rent is $1,800 a month plus utilities, and she wants to go half on both rent and utilities, so we would pay roughly $1,000 a month. Because she is using one of the rooms as an office, I feel like she should pay more, so I should pay $700 and she should pay $1,300. She thinks even if she is using an extra room because living near the hospital is very expensive, I should pay half because we could get a cheaper place if I don't live near work. She thinks is because we are paying more to live near my work so I don't have to pay for gas, I should pay half for rent. I think she's being selfish because she makes much more than me, and once I complete my residency, I can easily make $350,000 a year or more. But according to her, it's not fair for her to wait 3 years to potentially get paid back, because we could break up and she would have subsidized me. To me, if she isn't willing to pay a bit more to put skin in the game, she's being a gold digger and waiting for me to make bank without giving anything in the first place. We argued about this a few times, and I just want to know if I'm crazy in my thinking or she's being selfish. What do you think?
I think she's being quite fair, to be honest.
Yeah, think so?
Solely because
I don't like the
straight down the
sentence
middle.
with her saying, it's not fair for me to have to wait 3 years to potentially get paid back because we could break up and I would have subsidized you. That is a terrible thing for her to have said.
Oh no, yeah, that was a bad sentence, but my whole thing is stemming off the fact that...
She has good reasoning. She does have good reasoning, I'll say that. But that sentence makes her seem a bit, you know...
Yeah, no, I get that, but the whole thing is like, I would expect it to go half, like straight down the middle either way. It doesn't matter who's there, I expect it to go straight down the middle.
What about who's generating the most income?
Yeah, see, if that's the case, then you shouldn't be there, should you?
What do you mean?
Because she makes the most income, doesn't necessarily mean she should have to pay
Yeah.
for more.
And she has more room, but they also living in a more expensive place because he needs to live near the hospital.
Yeah, there is that too.
Yeah, so she does make a good point because she does say that I would live further away if I could choose. Would you say the guy's an asshole? Because I'm guessing at the
Not
end
really.
I think at the end when he's saying that he could easily make 350k a year or more, he's planning on taking over the entire rent. You know? That's what it seems
Yeah,
like to
but
me.
that all depends. That's between them. Like, we can't decide that. That's solely between those two.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, for me, I just say for me, in my opinion, because that's what we're based on. I'll say if
Yeah.
you are saying that once you make more money, you're going to take over entirely, I don't think you're an asshole. But if you're just saying, oh yeah, I'm going to make more so I can pay half, then you are definitely an asshole.
Yeah, no. Big asshole.
Yeah,
you are.
but if you're saying I'm going to make more so I'm going to pay for everything, then you're not an asshole, I think, in my opinion. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, when you say I'm going to make way more, if you say, oh yeah, I'm going to make way more, so I'm going to take care of all of it, and you don't have to worry about anything because I want to make sure that you're happy. But at the moment, I'm obviously not making as much, so I need this bit of help for the moment until I can get to that place. I think he's not an asshole for that. I think she seems like a bit of a bitch because she's saying...
Capable.
I think she's a bit of a bitch by saying, oh, I have to wait 3 years to potentially get paid back. I think with her saying...
I don't think that she's a bitch for that. I just think she's trying to account for something a bit too soon.
Yeah, I think if you do that, you don't really have faith in the relationship, because if you if you do pay the extra amount, you make 120k a year, which means you make 10 grand a month. So you'd have to pay 1,300, right? 1,300 a month on 10 grand. Let's say that's 12, 13 grand per year. Yeah, let's say it's 15 grand a year. That's not a big dent on your fucking income. Whereas for him, since he doesn't make that much, you know, it's a bit more for him, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
But I do get her way of thinking of...
Yeah,
she's thinking deep into the future, but it could have come out better.
It's not a huge loss if the guy was planning to do this and then you break up, right? It's not a huge loss for you, that 10, 13 grand, 15 grand a year. It's not a huge loss for the girl because she makes 120k.
It's not that big of a thing, but that shows that she values the things that she's got.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Every little bit of it.
I don't know, because if the guy's willing to pay for everything when he's got a bit more money and he can handle it.
Yeah, but that's all you're going off. You're not thinking about both of them at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I am on the guy's perspective because I am a guy. But...
Yeah, well, that's, you know, being open-minded is being able to think from every side.
I understand where she's coming from, for sure. But in my opinion, if the guy's planning to pay for everything later on, you know...
Yep, no, but what I meant is when I said that that's the only thing you're thinking of, that's the only if you're thinking of.
If he's,
that's the only if
not.
you're arguing with, because there's if a bunch of stuff.
Okay, then
if
what's
he
another
doesn't,
if?
if he's not, if they break up.
Well, if they break up, shouldn't be a question in this because it's not a huge loss for her. It's not like she's getting married and then losing half of her fucking 120k if they break up.
Well, yeah, no, but you can't gauge how someone values something if you're not that person.
Yeah, that's true. But I think if she does value that and he can't obviously value that, then they don't really have, the common values.
Which means that that's something for them to sort out, not you, Mr. Mediator.
Well, yeah, but they do ask, am I the arsehole for them?
Yeah, but they're not asking if we're the assholes for being in this relationship. They just want an answer on if he's the asshole for not paying half.
And that's why I had my one if thing.
Yeah, but again, you're being very one-sided.
What do you mean, man?
Your one if thing was if he pays everything.
Later on.
Later on.
Yes.
That is a big if.
If he's not planning on doing that, if he doesn't give you your word for that, then he's an arsehole.
But if he does,
what does a relationship take? Trust. If you don't trust that he's going to do what he says he's going to do, then you have no business in the relationship. Right?
Wow. That's also a big trust, though.
Yeah, but, if you're committed to a relationship, you are committed to a relationship. And the 15 grand is not something that's going to completely change your life if you break up. Because she works from home anyways. So she could just move to a cheaper place, save a bit more money if they broke up, and then have her office. So it doesn't matter.
Well, yes, she fully could. But again, that's judging someone and what they value from outside their perspective.
Yeah, but that's exactly what we do on a podcast called the Desensitized Podcast. We try our best. We try our best, but we still judge people.
Yeah, but it's...
I don't know what we're arguing about here.
I'm trying to get across the fact that you're thinking in these people's shoes without knowing how they think.
Yeah, but that's the whole point.
No, it's not. The point is understanding and giving advice and reason behind things, not trying to suss out someone's problems from their perspective without seeing or without thinking the way that they do.
I mean, I'll say that if he does make this money and he drops you afterwards because he's like too rich for you or whatever, he's a complete asshole. I'll say
you're
complete asshole if he drops you after he makes the money. Like, as in, I'm talking to the girlfriend now, but she's probably not going to see this. But you, my friend, I'm on your side when you say that you're willing to pay for everything when you make more money. But that also means you must be a man of your word. Once you make this fucking money, you have to fucking pay for everything. You don't just break up with this chick. She was there for you. You have to fucking remember it. If you're not planning to pay for everything, that's perfectly fine. But yes, you'll be the asshole right now for asking her to subsidize you. So that's how. That's my.
Find out in 3 years' time.
Eh?
Yes, we'll find out in 3 years' time. When was this posted?
3 months ago.
Yeah, we'll find out in 3 years' time to see how it went.
Here we just hear, I paid so and so much, and then my doctor boyfriend dumped me for some chick with lip fillers.
Am I the arsehole? No.
No, you're not the arsehole yet, no. Okay, final message for this guy, just make my perspective completely clear. If you are saying to her that you are going to pay for everything and provide everything when you make this money, because obviously you're making more money than her, and that's the whole argument you're doing now, that you'll provide everything then, but at the moment you need a little bit extra support, you're not the arsehole for asking. She makes fair points. She makes completely fair points, and you should acknowledge that she makes fair points, but say that you're willing to pay for everything later on, and you need the support now. Say that you kind of need it. But once you get to this point, you have to fucking provide. You can't just dump her for some shit. That's bullshit. She was there for you. You have to either provide for her, or unless she like cheats on you. If she cheats on you, then fuck her. But if you start going, I don't actually like this girl anymore because I have more options or whatever, you have to at least like pay her back for it. Right? Would you agree with that, Jade?
Yes, now that view I can get behind.
Yeah. or you have to give her a loving relationship in the future as well. Like, those are the two options. Obviously, you can't say you have to force yourself to love her if you just don't love her anymore, but you do have to pay her back if you don't love her anymore. On the flip side, if you're not saying that you're doing that, that's fine too, but shut the fuck up and pay your half if you're not going to provide in the future. On the girl's side, saying potentially get paid back, we could break up, then I would have subsidized you. That is a pretty shitty way of thinking about it as well.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty shit way of thinking.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That was a dog
yeah.
move.
So it's more iffy, but I'm guessing I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and think that you're not, that you're saying that you're going to provide everything once you make that more money, so then you're not the asshole. I'll just say that is my answer on that condition, because I'm assuming that that's the condition. So you agree? That's a better way of saying it?
Yeah, no, I can agree with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's the real one. If you work this out, she pays the more money, and then you end up making that big bank, right? She fucking deserves to be on that train with you. She was the OG. That's exactly what it should be. Yeah, that should be like your queen. That is like the perfect queen fucking archetype, is the girl who dates someone. Yeah, it's the perfect queen archetype, because like, if a girl dates you when you're broke and you're trying to work on something, and she continues with you even though you don't do all the fun stuff, you're not partying and stuff, but she stays with you during that time, you make it, you know, she's your queen. She is a real one, right? Versus if the girls are all like uninterested in you, but as soon as you make all your money, they're like, oh, now we want to be in a relationship. It's like, no, these hoes ain't loyal. So you have, like, if she does that, you have the perfect archetype of a queen, you must pay her back for that. It is your masculine imperative as a man to pay her back for that. But if you're not trying to treat it that way, then, you know, pay your fucking share, dick.
Yeah.
Alright.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, sweet. So that was the last one. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the 10th episode of the Desensitized podcast. Can you believe it? 10 episodes
pretty
already.
Heated, am I the asshole if you ask me?
Eh?
Pretty heated, am I the asshole if you ask me?
Kind of
Those
heated,
ones
eh?
were quite...
In between us. Yeah. Sort of. Having a bit of an argument. But in the end, coming together and agreeing. At least on the last one.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else to add, to say to Jake before we leave?
No, I don't really have anything to rip Jake up on about right now, so...
Alright, cool. Sweet. This ended up actually being an hour and a half, so that's interesting. I'll have to cut out a bunch of shit. Might end up like an hour and 10 minutes or something, but it's actually reasonably long. Sweet. So, that was the Desensitized podcast, episode 10. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoying the steady stream of content coming out. You know, now it's officially announced on this podcast. We are uploading a podcast every 1 or 2 weeks. So within that time frame, the next podcast will be out. I've said it, so the next podcast must be out within 1 or 2 weeks.
So it has to be.
Now, the pressure's on. Yeah, just for the next one, and then we'll see where we go. So, I hope you enjoyed. Have a good night, have a good morning, have a good day, whatever you're doing. Good afternoon, whatever. Good commute. If you're somehow listening to YouTube, because you got like YouTube Premium, and you're somehow listening to the podcast on your commute, have a good commute. Have a good day at work. Be productive. Get work done. Get shit done. Alright, yeah, that's me. Yeah. Alright, that's me for the night. See ya.
Bet.